Yes, we did it. Food Service Power Plant Network. It's Monday night, the best night of the week, because not only are we now, hopefully by the end of Monday, in fifth gear, in that, your car metaphor, but it's the night of the week that we get to sit back, we connect with an industry leader, we hear their story, we learn things that we might not otherwise learn in other industry ways and things that we talk about because we get to know the person here. Tonight, we have Ben Whitlock with Mobile Fixture. And Ben, I learned things about Ben this weekend on Facebook that I had not known, like his golfing past in history. We'll talk about that. And if I can get any tips, I will take them. Side note. So we're going to learn about Ben's story. We'll hear about his kind of rise up in food service, his career journey. He is today the president of Mobile Fixture out of Mobile, Alabama, and he's in Nashville, Tennessee, and they've got branches all over. A couple of things for you before we get going and bring Ben on. Number one, if I were you, I would grab a notepad and a pen. These hours, inevitably, Ben's going to drop parts of his story or nuggets of wisdom that you need to hear that will be helpful for you in your journey as you consider taking new risks, as you consider trying new things, as you try on a new coat. Maybe you want to lead or be a president of a company in food service. And maybe Ben's story will help you sort of try on that chef coat, if you will. Or maybe he's got things that he's gone through that you're going through right now. And you might make a few notes about steps that you need to take in your journey. Or maybe there's just a quote he says that you need right now. So grab a pen and a notepad. The other thing I would say is if you want to leave comments or ask Ben questions, bring it. You can simply type in the chat or on Facebook, you're watching there. You can type in there, hey, Ben, you can pump him up, say, what's up, brother? Or you can ask questions to him, anything you're curious about. I have a feeling most things he'd be willing to answer, or if you have a question for me or us as we engage in this, go for it. Would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback. Kick back, grab a drink or a water or whatever you need. Let's go find him, the man, the myth. Ben!
What's up? How are you?
I'm awesome. How the heck are you?
I'm doing great. It's Monday night. We're back at it, back at work. Got some playoff baseball tonight. Got some Monday night football going on in Nashville tonight. So it's chaos around here.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm assuming that's Boston Red Sox, even though it's a green hat.
It is. I was actually born in Boston, so I'm allowed to wear this. I'm not, Bo Sox Nation. I born and bred, so I'm allowed to do this. I lived through '86. It's fine.
I wasn't going to tell you couldn't do it. I just didn't know. And then, okay, Monday Night Football in Nashville tonight. Who are you guys playing?
Tennessee is hosting Buffalo, and I heard on the radio earlier today that there were somewhere between 30 and 40,000 Buffalo Bills fans in town. So I am avoiding Broadway like the plague tonight.
No kidding. Holy cow. That's a lot of people. Ben Colan is on. Ben, installing down in Florida. What's up, brother? Hope you are great. Here we go. Ben is watching with us. Ben, welcome, my man. Yeah, I would avoid Broadway with that many Bills fans or any opposing team fans as well.
Yeah.
Man, thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us an hour. And I'm sure when we're both done with this, we'll be going and watching some Monday Night Football, or you'll be watching some Red Sox. I guess you have a plethora of things that you can do tonight.
We're gonna be okay. We're gonna fill our time for sure. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be on here. I love what you're doing. The Facebook page, when it first started, it took off. It took off quickly, and there was a lot of chatter about it last week at our buying group meetings. Let's just say there's a lot of room to grow here, and people are starting to take notice. So thank you for everything you're doing there.
Ben, thanks, brother. I'm glad people are excited about it, and hopefully it's adding value. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't, I just got to know you in the last year as I started calling on the Southeast for Calmill, and I'd never really worked in that part of the world before. I was always based out of Denver. So for anyone who doesn't know your story and background, can you kind of give us a brief synopsis of your food service career up to where you are today?
Yeah, sure. So it started, let's see, I'm not going to go through the whole story, more of a Cliff Notes version, but when I graduated college, I played professional golf for a couple of years. Learned real quick I hated playing golf for a living, plus I wasn't good enough. So, add those two together, I'm not going to have a very long career. So I moved home, started working at my parents' restaurant in Mobile, and Wallen Donald, who was the owner of Mobile Fixture, he and my parents knew each other very well. So one day we're at the restaurant, Wallen and I were talking. I told him I can't play golf anymore because I'm not good enough. He asked me what I was going to do, and I said, I don't really have a path. I said, I love the restaurant business, but I'm not going to work nights, weekends, or holidays for the rest of my life. I'm just not going to do it. So he essentially offered me a job right then and there as an entry-level street salesperson along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Now, if you're not familiar with the Mississippi Gulf Coast, I'm just going to tell you right now, it has two things. It has fried seafood restaurants and casinos.
Okay.
At least 20 years ago, that's what it had. So I went out and I started calling on restaurants, cold calling, trying to sell small wares or equipment or whatever. Got hooked up with a casino, started doing a lot of business with 2, 3, now 4 restaurant or casinos, and was doing very well. Had a chain, Beef O'Brady's was buying for me. They were building a lot of stores at the time. This was back in the early 2000s. And then August 29, 2005 came around and Hurricane Katrina wiped out all of my customers along the coast. So I went from having a really good book of business to literally zero overnight. So a couple weeks after that occurred, Wong and I were at lunch one day and we were talking about, what's my next path and where am I going to go? And somehow we started talking about Nashville. He was building a new store up there. So I offered to move my family up there and he agreed. So it was that quick. And 2 months later, we were residents of Tennessee.
Wow.
And, we built up this market. We got very lucky being here at the right time. Wong did it the right way. We did the traditional showroom and warehouse and salespeople and everything. And it's really turned into something special up here. And then in 2017, Wong started putting the pieces in place for his succession, which then became myself, Lee Thompson, who is our CFO, Chris Pacey, who is our director of sales, and Keith Murray, who is our chief operating officer. So the four of us are quickly moving into ownership roles come December 31st of this year.
Wow. Good for you. Ben,
so
that's awesome.
Here we are.
Holy cow. I will tell you first, you've got Jameel Burkett is on. Jameel saying rocket. Love it. Who is this? This is right here. Kristen Bishop.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Kristen.
Lucky to get to work with Ben in Mobile. Hey, Kristen, welcome to you. This is, I don't know who this one is, but we'll find out. So I went with my son and my daughter yesterday. My daughter's 13, my son's 10, and we're walking to go hit golf balls at the driving range. They both got clubs recently and we're going, and they were like, hey, Dad, who are you interviewing tomorrow? I said, well, actually, I'm interviewing a guy that used to be a professional golfer and now he sells restaurant equipment. And my son says to me, I think I would have stayed in golf. And I started laughing. And I was like, I don't know. He goes, don't you make a lot of money in golf? And I said, you got to be really, really good to make a lot of money in golf, son. It was a fun moment. What was that like, by the way? I mean, professional golf, for anyone who's always curious, is it just as hard as I can imagine to really, really make it?
It really is it's hard. I've had this question asked 1,000 times. It's for every good golfer, for every scratch golfer in the world, there's 1,000 guys who are going to beat them every day of the week. So that's troublesome. The second part about playing professional golf is, imagine going to your job for 5 days and you had 4 really, really good days. And on Friday, you just laid the sod over. You had a terrible day. And on Friday afternoon, when your boss is handing out paychecks, he walks right past you and says, you had 4 good days. Today, you crapped the bed. So sorry, you're not getting paid for anything. And that's professional golf.
Wow, man.
There are no contracts. There are very few endorsements unless you're on TV. The minor league baseball life is difficult. The minor league golf lifestyle is brutal.
Gosh, I believe it. Well done as much as long as you made it and did it. Love me some Ben and Mobile Fixture. This is our buddy, I think this is Rain Biggerman. Rain's on.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Rain.
This is great. Kristen's wondering if you were at the Tech UT game. Were you at the UT game?
Was I? No.
I'm
No.
guessing that's University of Tennessee. If so, I think you might have been hit with something, but I don't think that happened, thankfully.
Do I look like I got hit by? Maybe I do look like.
No, you don't. This is Brad Ross. Brad says, I guess Ben is only really good at golf and not really, really, really good. Run with that.
Brad, bring your wallet the next time you're in Nashville, and we'll go play golf, and maybe you can beat me. We'll see.
I would love to play golf, by the way. And although, chances are I could hit a house along the way. Want to top up? Rick Palmer's in the house. Rick. Hey, good. Man. What's up, brother? Okay. So as the president of Mobile Fixture, you've had a plethora of opportunity these last 18 months to do your best to lead your teams. You've got teams in multiple locations, trying to stay connected with them, near and far. What are some of the skills you've had to most rely on in terms of leadership through these last 18 months or so?
You're talking about COVID, obviously. The struggle was real, man. Trying to deal with COVID and, keeping employees motivated and trying to keep morale at, something that's not terrible. It's been a challenge. It really is. You asked me, or you said that this was going to be one of my questions, and I have to cheat a little bit because I made notes, and of course now my phone just died, but that's okay. Trying to keep people motivated is a challenge all by itself, but trying to motivate people without them thinking that you're just sitting there trying to motivate them is even harder.
Yeah.
I know that not only myself, but the other senior management members during COVID, we tried to be as visible as possible, whether it was in the office or it was on job sites, in Zoom calls. Obviously, that was a thing, and it still is. But the most important part was trying to keep people motivated and trying to keep morale as upbeat as possible. Not necessarily rainbows and unicorns, but at least putting out a positive message at any chance we could.
Yep. It is really hard. You're right, because there's a level of trying to pump people up and keep them going where it's overt and they're like, I know what you're doing right now. So how do you transfer that enthusiasm and energy you have to keep waking up every morning and going and grinding and serving your customers? I think the biggest way sometimes is letting them see you do it at times. And when I met you, the first time I met you in person, I was coming into Nashville. You were going out, you were going somewhere to go work with a customer in a different part of the country. And we met in the airport for an hour. And so I have a feeling, Ben, that, hearing your story, some of the risks you've taken to move up to Nashville, to move your family up and take a new shot, or flying all around the country to serve your customers and build, I don't know, but I have to think that's one of the best motivations you can offer your team. It's just for them to see that you're in the game with them.
Yeah, to a point, that's very true. Yes. But at the same time, I don't want to just make an effort to be a part of the game, as you say, but I want to actually do it. I don't want to just show up at a job site when an equipment package is being delivered just to hang out. I want to be there and at least help. Now, the problem is, I know my installers, and a couple of them are probably watching this and they're laughing right now because all I do is get in the way. So I show up at a job site and, they start, it's cool. Oh man, boss is here. That's cool. And then after 5 minutes, they're like, can you please leave so we can do our job? So we have to be careful with that. Sorry, my dog is in the background. My three-legged German Shepherd wants to play toy right now.
That's all right. That's all right. My dog Molly, you'll hear barking occasionally as well. This is our friend Tiffany Elliott. Ben is a great mentor. Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany.
Awesome. Rain, did we meet at Burger King? We just kind of met at like a sit area. Rain, is there a Burger King story here, Ben?
Yeah, there's a Burger King story, and this is about 4.5 years old. So one morning at 5:30 in the morning, I'm sitting in the Southwest Terminal in Nashville, and I'll never forget this. There was a guy with a bag of Burger King as we're boarding. We sit down, and he's sitting. I'm on the aisle seat, and he's on the other aisle seat next to me. And he pulls out, this is 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, pulls out a fully loaded Whopper. I'm talking about one of those. And he's just mowing this thing down on the airplane, and the entire airplane smells like Burger King onions. Now, if you've ever smelled a Burger King onion, it is unlike any other smell in the world. So of course, I post something on Facebook about it, and 4.5 years later, I still get messages daily about Burger King. And God forbid, if I'm in an airport, there is a Burger King Facebook post coming, I'm sure.
That is awesome. I love it. And I wish I could connect with the smell of that kind of onion. I can't. There's a Burger King near me. I've never been there.
And the most ironic thing about the Burger King story is that, and here I go back with the Burger King. The Burger King in the Nashville airport actually moved to Terminal D. And ironically, it is sandwiched in between two restaurants that we just installed. So you have 8th and Roast, you have Burger King, and you have Party Foul. And I said, what a fitting way to just jab me is to put Burger King in between two good customers.
Oh, you always, it's like, anyway, I won't go there. One night, Shannon made butternut squash soup, and it just ended up being a poor night in my house. And like, I can't go back to it. I loved it too, which was a shame. Something just didn't quite work out. Bagged food service onions. There we go. Tiffany says.
Here we go. They're all going to start flooding in now.
Tell me, what is it about your work that you love?
My wife's in the back probably listening. I love the pressure. He asked what I love about my job. I love the pressure. I love the stress. I love the pressure. I love the people. There's a ton of things I love about the industry. Most importantly, though, it's the pressure and the beating the clock. I'm one of those guys that has to beat the clock. So if I have 2 weeks to get something done, I'm not paying attention to it for 12 days.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to do a good job. If I take my time and spread it out over that time, it's going to be horrible. Whatever it is, whether it's a drawing, a quote, whatever it is, it's going to be terrible. You give me 2 days to do something that should take a week. Yeah, it's going to turn out pretty good. Only because I'm wired that way. I like beating the clock.
Wow. So in those moments of, you said you like the stress, you enjoy the pressure. How do you experience real stress? Like, does it get to you? Does your blood pressure go up? No.
What's stressful about our industry? No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I feel stress. Of course. Yeah, I do feel stress, but stress is a fancy word for just pressure or, having a career. Nothing's going to come easy to anybody, whether it's the food service industry or building rocket ships. Everything's tough. Everything's a grind. You just got to deal with the what is it they say, the patient right in front of you. So the Hippocratic oath that doctors take, the number one rule, or one of the rules, is you treat the patient in front of you, whoever it is, whatever it is, you do what you can to solve the problem.
I love it. I think in a world where we're all juggling multiple balls and multitasking different projects, different people's customers' needs, our team's needs, whatever that is, just dealing with the whatever you said, or the patient right in front of you is a really good tip, because it allows you just to be present, and anything else that's out there, you tune out. Right now, I'm with you. This is what we're discussing. And then maybe in 5 minutes, I'll be onto a new thing, and then I'll be fully with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think another question you were going to ask was, how do you manage stress, or what is your release for stress? I like going to the golf course. I like going to the golf course and putting in my AirPods. I'll go to a golf course where nobody knows me. I don't know anybody there. Sometimes it's a cow pasture, and I'll get, a couple buckets of golf balls and go sit on a driving range for an hour and a half or 2 hours and just hit golf balls with listening to music and just thinking. I'm not going through, any routine or anything while I'm hitting golf balls. I'm just out there just to clear my thoughts, I guess. And sometimes it's the worst thing I could do would be to just walk away and go to a golf course to find that release, because I might be in the trenches and we might be dealing with something, a major problem. I gotta find a way to what do they say? Recenter.
Yeah, I love it. There's a lot of stories about that. Just getting out, going for a run, going for a walk, hitting golf balls, getting away, clearing your head. And that's the place oftentimes that we think. Scott Davis is in the house. Be glad that you did not bring White Castle. Smells even worse. That's great.
That's funny.
Scott, welcome, brother. Good to see you. Okay, you've got a lot of roles that you fill. You're the president of an organization. You're on the board of a buying group. You're a board member of a buying group. You're a father. You're a husband. You got any tips for anyone, coming up in the industry? Maybe they want to be a parent, and maybe they want to be in a leadership role in our industry that has this false belief that you can't be all of those things, or you can't do them all well. Any tips there?
Well, I can tell you what I do, and now whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. It seems to work because my family seems happy, so that's good. I know it's a terrible cliche, but I really do try and leave work at work. I mean, whether it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if I've got something going on, if I have to pick my son up from school, or God forbid, a doctor's appointment or something, that's it. I mean, I'll have my phone, and my phone will ring, and I'll see who it is, and sometimes I answer it and sometimes I don't. But I do try and keep somewhat of a balance. Now, I say that, and tonight after I get done with you, I'm got to update some drawings for a customer that I met this afternoon. But that's kind of planned out. So I know that once the kids go to bed and once my wife settles down for the night, I'm going to sit down at the table. I'm going to watch the baseball game anyway, so I might as well be productive while I do it. So I'm sitting here, the TV's directly over my laptop, and we're going to get after it when we're done.
Are you watching now by chance?
It is on right now, yes.
I'm just kidding. It is
0-0.
Multitasker. If you're staying in tune with what's going on there and doing this.
No, not yet. Not yet. We're getting there.
I love it. You laugh, you seem to have a lot of fun. We've only connected a couple times, but laughter seems to, and joking around. When I was at FIDA, you were sort of joking around you had a customer that was on stage, and someone was ribbing you and you were ribbing them. And it seems to be a key part of sort of how you live and engage with customers. Is that intentional? Do you use laughter intentionally?
Yeah, I guess you could say it's intentional. I mean, it's me. I'm just a goober. We laugh and we joke and we get mad at each other and we cry together, and we're an emotional group of people, whether it's our customers or our coworkers or whomever it might be. We have to remember that the people that we are working with, our customers, this is their lives, and this is their life savings. This is sometimes more than their life savings, and we have to. If nothing else, we have to be a positive, influence on them, so that when we do walk out the door from a meeting with them, at least they're maybe not thinking about the stresses of their lives for a few minutes. I feel like it's genuine. I don't know how to fake laugh or fake joke around. It's just we're goofy, and my coworkers in Nashville know. I'm going to be a goofball sometimes, and sometimes I have to be, the president of the company. The challenge that my coworkers have there is they may think that I'm in a joking mood, but I'm really not. So their jokes don't come across very well sometimes. So I almost have to have a sign, hey, joke or serious or whatever it is.
Sure. I think moments of levity are so helpful in any situation, and particularly in times of challenge. I remember when I was a kid, anytime something bad happened, I remember one time I pulled the weight set that was drilled into the wall, came out, clocked me in the head. I had to go get stitches. And my dad inevitably just tells some joke to pull me out of the funk, the sadness, the despair, the whatever. And it always makes me smile, which takes away a little bit of pain and helps me think, oh, maybe this is kind of fun. The stitches are great, Dad. Yeah, stitches are great.
Yeah. I mean, I catch a lot of it. I catch a lot of grief from my partner sometimes because I am mostly rainbows and unicorns. But you know what? There's worse things in the world. I'm just an upbeat guy. I like being positive. Now there are times where I'm not. There are times where I can be a jerk, and yes, I'm sorry for that, and I wish I wasn't, but I do try. I do try to keep a positive attitude all the time.
I believe you do, and I bet it benefits a lot of people, and it's probably a part of your success in Mobile Fixture. Finish this sentence. A career in food service will make you...
Wish you studied harder. No, I'm just kidding.
Wish
kidding.
You were really good at golf.
Right. I wish I would have practiced more. That's what I normally say. No, I've been thinking a lot about this one. This is a fun one to answer because whether you like it or not, it's going to make you a people person. Introverts do not stay introverted very long. They learn to find their extroverted self. Extroverts thrive in this kind of environment because no 2 days are the same, no two customers are the same, and no two projects are the same. So you have to become a people person. You've got to learn how to talk to the people, whether they are customers or coworkers or vendors. Find out what their needs are and their wants, and work it out with them.
I think you're right. It pulls you out. It pulls you out to connect, to communicate more, to communicate better. I think I'm more extroverted because of what we do. I still recharge in front of a book or whatever that is, at home isolated. But yeah, I have a lot of fun getting out there as well and connecting. That's the joy of it all.
Yeah. Our industry allows someone to be an extrovert in work life or in business and still be an introvert in social settings. That's what I am. I'm not quite a wallflower, but in a social setting, yeah, I'm kind of in the crowd.
Yeah, got it. Cool. Thanks for sharing that. By the way, everyone watching, welcome. We've got Ben Whitlock from Mobile Fixture on. If you've got a question for Ben, feel free to throw it in the group. Ben, I'm going to read you one from Christian Moore, who just joined our group the other day, threw a question in earlier. How does Mobile Fixture help clients streamline their operations for increased profits?
Well, I can only take it so far, or a dealer such as Mobile Fixture or any dealer for that matter, we can only take it so far. And what we tell clients sometimes early on in kickoff meetings even, I'm going to give you all of the resources you need to be successful. What you do with those resources is kind of, I don't want to say it's not my responsibility, but I don't know the operations side of a restaurant as much as an operator does. And they don't understand our side of the industry. So there's nothing wrong with that. But how would I help a customer? I would start in the back of the house, obviously in the kitchen. I would, kind of assess what they have going on. How old is their kitchen? How old is their equipment? Is it functioning properly? Is the flow working? And then find out, are they even interested in streamlining? Everybody says they want to streamline until it's time to start streamlining, and people fall back into old habits.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the questions you have to ask at the very beginning is, you say you want to streamline. Are you prepared to do whether it's me or somebody else suggests? Are you ready to do that?
Great answer. It's you're right. We're only half the battle in terms of what we do. Maybe not even half. I don't know. There's a lot of different things a restaurateur is figuring out to run.
It is, and what's I guess a little bit unfortunate about our industry is it really isn't our place to say whether or not a restaurant is going to be successful. We want them to be. I want every customer that we ever work with to have 1,000 units. But we also get a lot of the husband and wife, and any dealer who's watching this will understand this. We still get the husband and wife who walk into the store who say they're going to cash in their retirement to open up, I don't know, a meatloaf restaurant. And you do feel bad because you kind of know it's not going to work. I mean, we've all done this long enough. You know what concepts can work and which ones cannot. Yeah. And we have to be very careful with, do we want to work with this customer? Do we want to sell them an equipment package knowing that they're probably not going to make it? Well, we've done some restaurant. Mobile Fixture has done enough restaurants that we've had those thoughts on day one of, oh, they're never going to make it, and all of a sudden they've got 3 or 4 or 5 locations. So every restaurant that we've ever worked with has potential, and until someone proves us otherwise, we're going to keep sticking with that.
Heck yeah, it's. You're right. There's this gut feeling on things, or we see things, but you never know when that one does its thing. And then if you crush someone's dream by telling them, listen, I've seen Meatloaf concepts, none of them have made it. And then, they crush a dream in their head, but really there's something special there. This is Brad Ross. Our job is to help our customers be successful. Absolutely. It's to take whatever dream they have, guide them as much as we can in it to be wise in their decision making, but also help them fulfill it. And there's a big role we play in that. Talk about being a part of a bigger story. Last year, in one of the funnest years, one of the most unique years ever, Mobile Fixture was the 2020 Food Service Equipment and Supplies Dealer of the Year. What's it like? I mean, first of all, for any dealers out there that hope to win that award, what's the experience? I mean, granted, your experience is a little bit unique because you didn't get the big party in person yet. I know it's going to happen someday. There might be 3 or 4 of you that win the award. They keep winning them.
Right.
But it's going to happen. But tell us about that experience. And was that a goal that you all had to win that award? No,
actually it wasn't. It came out of nowhere. We've never even considered being a part of that. We didn't even know we were nominated, nothing. We were sitting in our conference room when the call came in saying that we had won Dealer of the Year. This was in February, I guess, of last year, maybe late February or early February. Anyway, we get the call and we're, cool. We're on cloud 9, Dealer of the Year, NRA. We're going to put on tuxedos and look cool. And then March hit. And then, everybody starts, bad mouthing the world, and the restaurant industry shut down. And here we are, Dealer of the Year, in the one year that you don't want any awards, you don't want anything to do with anything. And I remember talking to Joe Carbonaro with FE&S magazine. I'll never forget this. This was in, I guess, late April. So we were all in the toilet then, working remotely. And I was talking to Joe. At the time, they were still going to do NRA in Chicago. This was in April of 2020. So I'm talking to Joe, and we're trying to figure out, are they going to do the show or not? And I said, Joe, let me ask you something. I said, has a Dealer of the Year ever gone out of business before they got to give their acceptance speech? And he starts laughing like you are. And I said, Joe, I'm really only halfway joking. I'm just curious. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. But no, it never got that bad. But you didn't know in April of 2020, you had no idea what was going to happen. So yeah. Anyway, getting back to that experience, the experience was interesting. We didn't focus much on it at all. I think we got to change our signatures on our email, and we got the cool logo, and a lot of calls and emails and text messages from friends and coworkers. Yeah, we actually got a lot of calls from former employees who had moved on to either other companies or other industries. It was really special.
And that's awesome, man. And it's kind of fun that it just hit you out of nowhere, that you had no idea this thing was coming. And all of a sudden, what a fun pick-me-up to the day.
Yeah. For a few weeks.
Okay, here's a question. How is Mobile adapting to the constant increase of equipment pricing while bidding on projects?
That is a really, really good question.
That is a good question. Rick.
It is not easy. There's 2 different paths that I've heard people go down when it comes to bidding on projects today. And this, I'm talking about a true Section 11-400 bid that, you bid it today and it's going to be installed at the end of next year.
Yep.
There's 2 different schools of thought so far that I've heard. One is you bid it as if they're going to buy it today and hope to God that the pricing, plateaus out at some point. The second school of thought is price it with some increases factored in. That's the more obvious answer. The problem is you don't know how many increases you really are going to incur, and are your competitors going to do the same thing, or are they going to take that first school of thought that says, I'm going to price it as if it's today? Man, that is the hardest question that sitting at FIDA, a month ago, and being at the buying group meetings last week, nobody has a conclusive answer. Everybody's got their own thoughts, their own opinions, and at the end of the day, someone's going to be right and someone's going to be wrong.
Yep.
I will add this, there is finally, after several months, there is talk within some general contractors that escalation clauses or, pricing can expire at a certain point, but those are few and far between.
I feel for you all on that side of the business. It's not something that I'm a part of as much, but that seems like an impossible challenge, like a hard challenge to figure out what's the best way to meet those needs. I'm glad that they'll give you some flexibility. Hopefully, if it comes, no crystal ball is right.
Yeah, and for those companies that are only bid houses, I don't know what to say to them, because if you're a street dealer or brick and mortar, design build, anything other than true public money, you don't have to hold your pricing so long. You have customers that are much more understanding. I'll be honest, I'm very thankful that our company, we do quite a bit of contract work, but I'm glad that we don't rely on it for our single source of revenue. That would be much higher stress level, much less joking.
Yeah, I got you. Todd Strader is in the house. Todd, you guys are rocking it. Happy to be a part of this awesome group. Thanks for your business. Ben, Todd, you are the man. Todd's with Winco and crushes it.
I know Todd, yeah.
Is as high as any human I know. Who's this? Oh, Rick. This is Rick again. This is how I budget. That's how I budget for my projects. Each quarter, markup for 2 years to the owner. Awesome, Rick. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Was there we all learn a lot about ourselves in the hard moments, in the things that are tough. Was there a challenge in your story, in your life along the way, that taught you, that you came out of and helped you recognize that you had what it takes? You got more than you realized?
I guess so, in a roundabout way. I keep going back to the well with playing golf, but playing competitive golf and adapting to that mindset of always being competitive and always trying to be, the best or winning or whatever it is. That's kind of got me going in that direction. What has really fueled the fire, I guess, it's not so much a single bad experience. I can remember every single golf tournament I've ever lost. Every single one of them where I have finished, second, third, or fourth. I can remember every single one of those losses, and I don't remember all of the wins. And whether that's good or bad, I don't know, but it is who I am. And I said to the folks this weekend at my old college, I said I kind of grew up with the mantra of, if you ever meet a good loser, you've met a loser. And I don't know if that's the greatest thing in the world to live by, but it's the amount of times I've lost that I remember, whether in golf or in business. I remember every order I've ever lost at Mobile Fixture, and I think that's what keeps us all going.
Wow. Well, I think we're equally driven by good things we're chasing and things we want to avoid. And so it makes sense. It doesn't matter what the motivator is, as long as it keeps you moving forward and grinding and winning and growing. That you just mentioned this weekend. Talk about, I didn't know you were a golfer, but you were just inducted into your college's Huntington College, right? Mm-hmm. What is it? The Athletic Hall of Fame?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that experience. I saw that and I was blown away. That's so cool.
Well, I know that this doesn't, portray a decent golfer, and it doesn't anymore. But at one time in my life, I was pretty good at it. I graduated from Huntington College in 1997, and I was a golfer there. Obviously, we won the national championship one year. I was an All-American 4 times, and it was a fun experience to relive after what's it been 24 years. I have not been back to the college since I graduated, so it was a real cool experience to go back with my wife and my kids and my in-laws, who I obviously didn't know my kids then, but I didn't know my wife, I didn't know my in-laws. So I got to bring all of them back and kind of live out those glory days for a day and a half. And that was a really special experience. I got to see my old golf coach, and I got to see a bunch of old friends that we haven't kept in touch together. And it was really neat. It was unbelievably cool.
And way to go. That's got to be awesome for your kids to see that part of your life that they didn't know as much. And who knows what dreams that instills in them, or hopes or motivation.
Yeah. Who knows? Hopefully they pick up on it. They're good kids, so it's hard to, improve on that.
Love it, man. I love it. Any daily or weekly disciplines you live by that you're like, you know what, I always do this first thing in the morning that help lead to some of what you've experienced?
Yeah, I'm kind of an early morning guy. I'm usually at the office between 6:30 and 7. It used to be a lot earlier than that. It's kind of crept up as I've gotten a little bit older. But I do try and get to the office early. It's usually just me and one other person working there early in the morning. I usually it's funny. It's not really it's more of a routine than anything else. I like making myself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And at least once a week, when nobody else is in the building, I walk the showroom, and I walk up and down every aisle. I walk in our test kitchen. I walk in the warehouse. And I don't really have an agenda. I just walk around and just see what's here and see what's moving, see what's not moving. And just kind of enjoy the peace and quiet. Our building cracks and creaks, and it's just me and the ghosts around there. And it's a nice routine to have, because it kind of settles things down. I try and do it on Fridays because it's the end of the week. I can see what we've sold that week. That's kind of cool to do it on a Friday. Outside of that, it's our days are routine until about 8:03 in the morning, and then they turn into crap.
Sure. Then customers call and something's not working, or something needs to be moved.
Something didn't show up. Something's damaged. Why is the pricing so high? Whatever it is, it's the same laundry list. It's just in a different order.
Yep. I think that's a really cool routine, a cool thing to do, to walk through, hear those creaks, get in your own thoughts, see what's happening. I love it. I think that's a great one for people.
The number of times that I've lost my coffee cup on our showroom floor is criminal. It really is. I'll put it down to do something, and then next thing I know, where's my coffee mug? And it just blends into everything else.
There's a lot of people that have put coffee mugs in the sink. I'm sure they find them randomly. I do that on my Jeep a lot for whatever reason. I'm working in the garage. I put something on the Jeep fender, and then I back out and there's glass all over the place. But I don't know. It's an issue. What makes Mobile Fixture? This wasn't in the questions, but what makes Mobile Fixture special? What makes it a special group of people, place to work?
Well, that's a two-part question. So what makes it special to work? I'll answer that first, but we try and tell people two things. When we are either interviewing them or when we hire them, we tell them two things. We tell them that everybody in our company is in sales. Whether you like it or not, you are in sales. And if you're walking through the showroom floor, if there's a customer there, I don't care what you're doing, you stop and ask, how are you doing today? Is there anything I can help you with? Now, we're all guilty of not doing that from time to time, but we do try and instill that into everybody's minds. So that's the first thing. The second thing that we try and tell people is, I want this to be the last company you ever work for, and kind of leave it at that. So and Juan taught me that. Juan wants everybody who works at Mobile Fixture, he wants that to be the last company they ever work for. He wants them to retire from it, whether they're 18 or 65. So those are the two things that we try to make special at Mobile Fixture. And we spend more time with each other than we do our real families. So I can tell you everything there is to know about any of my coworkers. They can do the same for me. I wrote this in our second Dealer of the Year speech, because the first one was null and void, and now the second was null and void too. But we laugh together, we cry together, we fight, we argue, we hug, and we make up, and that's what family does. So we do try to be a family. Sometimes we don't get along, and sometimes we don't speak to each other, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, we still love each other. So the second part is, I guess, more of a sales pitch. Is why Mobile Fixture? If nothing else, we want to always do what we say we're going to do, and if that means it's going to cost us thousands of dollars to make something right because we said we would, we will. And I feel like we have enough customers under our belt who can vouch for that.
I love it. It's hard to not want to be a part of that or work with you all if an end user knows that you're going to take care of it. You say what you're going to do, whatever date you give, whatever experience they expect to have, that you're going to help them have it. There's a lot of comments about how your team are like family. It's the people. It's the people. It's a great group of people. That's Brad Ross, Tiffany, and Rain, by the way.
Hey, can we get a baseball score? If anybody can comment on what the baseball score, it'd be great. I don't have it.
Yeah, baseball scores are helpful. That'd be awesome. Okay, we won't take too much more. Three things.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding, Jason.
Three things on your bucket list.
Number one is playing Augusta National. Number one, by far. Number two and three, I'll tell you number two. Number three is going to stay with me. But number two would probably be to get to a point in my life where my wife and I can travel around the world. One of my goals is to get on yet another airplane without Burger King and fly around the world with my wife.
Love it, man.
Number three stays with me.
Got it. Stays with you. No worries. We won't press into that. Would that be one of her bucket list items as well? It takes two.
She left, so I don't know. I don't know if we've ever even talked about it, but I've always wanted to do that.
Awesome. Curious minds want to know. I hope so. I hope she's as excited about it as you are. Define success, Ben. How do you define success? Oh, hold on real quick before you go there. 0-0, bottom of the second.
Okay, great. Thank you. Whoever that was, thank you.
It's Jameel. Jameel!
Thank you, Jameel. I appreciate that, buddy.
You're awesome.
Define success. Well, I learned a long time ago, and when I say a long time ago, like pre-Mobile Fixture days, I heard somebody say one day, how do I define success, or whatever the other word is besides success, use a thesaurus. But he said something that always stuck in my head, and that was, the day that you can wake up and not care what other people think about you is a day that you're successful. And I've never forgotten that as long as I've lived. I don't know if I've ever spoken that before, but I kind of always have that in the back of my mind, because it defines happiness too. If you really stop and think about it, the people who are happy, they're happy in their world. They don't care what else is going on in the rest of the world. They're happy. So to me, that there is a level of success with that as well.
I'm going to ask a follow-up question to it. Before we get there, real quick, Bills 3, Titans 0. Bummer. And bases are loaded. Red Sox 1 out, bottom of the second. There you go.
Perfect.
Oh, hold on. We've got an update. Red Sox up 1-0.
This went downhill quick, didn't it, Jason? Sorry. I didn't realize that. Thank you.
I think it's outstanding. Wallen is updating us. Hey, Wallen, love it. So if that's success, and I love your definition, not caring about what other people think of you, do you feel like as you've matured, as you've gotten older, every year we get older, do you feel like you're closer to experiencing more of that? I mean, I don't know that there's ever 100%. I don't care what anyone thinks ever, because there's people we love and they matter and their opinions matter to some degree. But do you feel like you're moving in that direction?
I don't know. That's a good question. I I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. I mean, we all want to be successful. We all want to get to that point in our lives where we don't care what other people think about us. I mean, that's great to say, and it's easy to say.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm definitely not there. I care very much what people say about me and my coworkers and my customers and all the people that I care about. My family, of course. So I'm going to always try and strive to get to that point. I'm going to go to the well again. It's kind of like playing golf. You're never going to master that game. So you're always trying to get to that next level. And the next level is not the last level. There's always another level to it. Mm-hmm. So, and I feel like that's what maybe success looks like. I don't know. I'll let you know when I get there if I do.
I love it. I can't wait. I hope you do. And I think not caring what other people think about you, I think it's different than indifference. There's this belief that if I don't care what anybody thinks about me, then I'm indifferent toward anything, the heck with it all. I don't think that's the same thing. I think it's saying, you're willing to have opinions. You care about things very passionately, your family, your work, mobile fixture, et cetera, the industry, and you're willing to do it your way. Certainly not to burn bridges along the way, right? You're doing it to grow customers and be respected, et cetera. And if people disagree, well, then so be it. Tune those voices out. I don't know. I'm far from.
Well, and let me clarify this also. It's not that it's not that I think success is when you don't care about other people. There's a big difference. Yeah. I'm always going to have relationships, and I'm always going to try and make sure people like me, and I always like them. But at the end of the day, if they tell their friends I'm a piece of crap and I don't know, a jerk or arrogant or whatever, okay, I get it. That's fine. I'm not going to change my life because of that.
Yep. I agree. I think you're good at caring for people. That's become apparent. Okay. Lastly, in 50 years, when they look back at your career, when the industry does, when you're hopefully traveling the world with your wife and on a lot of planes, eating Thai food and all these cool foods all around the world.
Right.
What do you hope they say about the legacy that you left in the industry, Ben?
I would hope that it would be tied to Mobile Fixture, and I would hope that the two legacies or memories are going to be that I or we or all of us, that we do what we say we're going to do. We have ethics, we have morals, we do things the right way, we treat people with respect, and at the end of the day, we do want to be remembered as being good people. Yeah. I don't want to be a $1 billion company. I don't want to have thousands of employees and dealing with problems all over the world. I want to provide, lifestyles for our employees and good service for our customers.
I love that your legacy is tied to your company, that it's a we statement. This is who we are, and it's tied to what you've been a part of there with your teams. I think that's awesome.
Well, I mean, think about I wouldn't be here with you without Mobile Fixture. I mean, that's just the way it is, whether you want to admit it or not. We're all here because Schwarber.
Are you watching this? I don't know what's happening.
Grand Slam, 6-0.
There we go.
No, but all joking aside, I'm not here without Mobile Fixture. I'm not here without Wong Donald or any of my partners or any of my coworkers. They pushed me out here, and so here I am, and I'm tied to Mobile Fixture forever, and that's great. There's not a better place in the world for me right now.
I think it's outstanding, and I think that there's a lot of people in the industry who would say the same thing of you, that their success, the things they experience, the joy in the industry, the things they get to work through, et cetera, are that you're a big part of their journey and what they've done. I'm going to put you on the spot, and I'm going to read to you from a couple of your industry friends.
Okay.
People from whom you've affected in really neat ways. Don't hate me. Don't punch me through the screen.
Okay.
You can't get mad. The Sox are up 6-0. All is good.
Yeah, that's fine. We're good.
I love it. Okay, so I reached out to a few friends who Here's what a couple of them said about you. Our mutual friend, Chris East.
Oh, God.
I first met Ben, oddly enough, 20 years ago this month, October of 2001. I had just taken over the Alabama territory for the Premier Equipment Group. Immediately upon that first meeting at Mobile Fixture, you could tell that Ben was one of the special dealer reps. He was up and coming, personable. He took charge without being pushy. He could have a lot of fun, and he really made it a point to learn his product while honing his craft. Over the next handful of years, I had the pleasure of tackling some challenging projects with Ben, along with tie in several notable social components too. I could tell that Ben got it. He earned the trust of his customers. He earned the respect of his manufacturer partners and rep partners, and he was a great ambassador for Mobile Fixture in the market and the industry. I think Ben's tenure as a professional golfer prior to coming on with Mobile Fixture must have truly set him up for success. It's a game of both honor and discipline, in which you score yourself and you hold yourself accountable. It's a skill where the hours upon hours of behind the scenes work are what truly allow you to shine in the spotlight. And it's a game where social skill sets naturally come into play, and Ben excels at each. Fast forward 20 years later from that initial visit, Ben has continued to grow his company's reputation, having been named Dealer of the Year and earned the title of both president and an owner of Mobile Fixture. I have no doubt that Ben, along with the rest of the Mobile Fixture leadership team, will lead them to continued growth and success. And I have no doubt that many in the food service equipment and supplies industry find themselves fortunate to call Ben both a trusted partner and a friend.
Well, he's a class act. I mean, I bet everybody on here in this group knows Chris East and how influential he's been. He's a great guy. That was very, very nice. I did not know that was coming. I do recognize how expensive that's going to be, though, at some point in my life, that the amount of beer I'm going to have to buy is going to be criminal.
Well, I don't think you have to buy beer for nice comments, but if you do, you're not done yet. You're going to be buying a lot of beer, Ben. Chris Reeves from South Bend. Ben is a passionate leader, but balanced in his commitment to our industry. He pushes his team and his suppliers with Southern courteousness. He's an incredible listener, but you can see the wheels turning in his head on how both parties can win in any given situation. He's very creative on how to manage through the challenged waters in today's business world. Ben is ultra competitive. One of his sayings that comes to mind in describing his competitiveness: I hate losing more than I like winning. I think that came up earlier. I love it, these moments. Ben, however, understands that the other person doesn't need to lose in order for him to win. He believed that all parties need a win when working on changing situations in business. This is a sure sign of a true leader, and he looks to raise all parties to success. Mobile is a good-sized company, but Ben made it a mission to connect with each team member and thank them for their contribution to their business. And he never underestimates the power of listening and making a good personal connection to all who make Mobile Fixtures one of the most respected sources to fulfill customers' food service dreams. I'm sorry that I can't share this in person, but it's truly an honor to call Ben a friend, and I'm proud we get to work together in this great industry.
Wow.
Our industry is a much better place with him in it.
Well, that's really cool. Chris and I have gotten to know each other over the past couple of years, and yeah, that's great. I don't know what to do, man.
Just take it in.
Remember what I told you? I told you I'm an introvert when it comes to social settings, and we're pushing the envelope on that.
This is a sociologist's dream right now. I'm like,
I didn't do well in sociology. I didn't do well in sociology. That's why I sell spoons for a living.
There you go. Okay, Jamil Burkett. Ben Whitlock is a dynamic business leader. His level of energy is high, and his leadership thrives in any interaction that you have with him. He brings this level of energy to everything that he does: his family, his business, his involvement on the CPG board, and in his golf game. I'm privileged to call Ben not only a business competitor, but a really good friend.
I would agree with that. Jamil and I kind of entered the the buying group world about the same time. He might have been a little bit before me. But yeah, we've kind of stuck together, Jameel and a couple other guys in our buying group and I, and hopefully we can take it to the next level.
I think you both are. Lastly, I've got your buddy Wallen Donald. I met Ben when he was selling me signage for a building that we were building in 1999. I was so impressed with him that I started trying to get him to work for me at Mobile Fixture. His parents were a customer of ours, and I always heard how proud they were of him. And then I met him, and we hit it off from day one. I'm the one who handpicked Ben to be my successor as the face of Mobile Fixture. We've spent years together. We've traveled together. We even stay in the same room when we travel together because he's like my little brother.
We still do.
I freaking love that.
Yeah.
We're teammates in golf tournaments. He's super competitive, and that's why we get along so well. We both hate losing, and he hates losing in everything. Checkers, golf, business. In all he does, he's there to win. I'm glad to call him my friend.
Well, Wallen is my mentor, and he has been since I started at Mobile Fixture, and truly one of my closest and best friends. And that is true. We do stay in the same hotel room when we travel. That's the one thing that he and I actually were laughing about over the weekend. That's one of the things that I think he and I are both going to miss about the current setup is, FEDA, NAFM, buying group meetings, whatever it is. We kind of circle those dates on the calendar because we do get to travel together and we stay in the same room and we'll gamble together on, baseball or football or, what time the sun rises. So that's a real special relationship we have. We love each other and we hate each other sometimes at the same time.
Well, being in business sometimes it always does that, right? We always agree, we disagree, we love each other, we work out our differences, things we think directions we should go. But I think it's really special that you guys consider yourselves brothers. I think it's so neat. Someone said, "I love that." That's Shannon.
I'm going to tell you. I want to tell you a quick Wallen Donald story, and this is not a work story. This is a golf story because he mentioned that we were partners. So 2 years ago, I guess 2019. Wallen and I always go down to Pensacola, Florida, and play in a 2-man golf tournament for 3 days. And we go there with a bunch of other guys, and we play poker at night and have a good time. Anyway, so we're playing in this tournament, and after the second day, he and I were in dead last place. I mean, last place. So we were not speaking to each other because he played bad, I played bad. We weren't even speaking. We were so mad at ourselves that we were taking it out on each other. Anyway, so I went out that night and I overindulged and I felt terrible the next morning. So the next day in my mind, I said, all right, we're going to go out and play golf. It's 95 degrees out. Let's just finish last and I can go home. I hate losing, but I had accepted it. With one round to play, I had accepted we were going to lose. Anyway, so we go out there and after 5 holes, we're still in last place, and we're playing with 2 young guys in their late 20s, and they're way better than the 2 of us, and they're hitting it farther, and I'm counting the holes down. Anyway, so we're waiting on the 6th tee box, and we get to talking about Nashville, and they're from somewhere in Florida. And one of the guys was raving about a particular restaurant in Nashville that I hate, and I mean they are blacklisted. And something happened. At that exact moment in time, something happened with Wallen and I, and the 2 of us played the next 12 holes like 7 under par.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, we're not speaking. We don't want to speak to anybody else. It was all of a sudden we're throwing a perfect game. So we end up that day, our goal was to beat those 2 guys. After the restaurant that they mentioned, all I want to do is beat the shit out of them. Mm-hmm. Well, we did. Well, we get done and we shot, I think, 6 or 7 under combined. Now this is alternate shots. So he hits a shot that I have to hit and then he hits. Anyway, unheard of score. We played out of our minds. We get done. And not only did we beat the other team, we won the tournament.
Oh my gosh.
We end up coming from last place to win the tournament. And it was because of one thing one person said, the two of us got so fired up, we were off to the races after that. That is a 100% true story.
That is outstanding.
Yeah.
If ever, do you ever like in those moments where you just need to, like a fire lit in you, be like, do you ever have anybody teed up to be like, hey, ask me about like a really terrible restaurant that I hate or something like that?
Well, now that's like the running joke. So, if Walt and I are out playing golf and if we're losing as a team, he starts mentioning the restaurant and it doesn't always work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
He'll be like, hey man, how about those Burger King onions?
Yeah, it's something along those lines. Yes. And if I feel like it, then yeah, it can get ugly.
I think that's outstanding. This is our friend Rain. I think you're an awesome person, Ben. Mobile Fixture is a special company. All of the people there are amazing. Thanks for interviewing Ben Rain. This has been a blast. I stinking love it. This is, who's this? Todd. Determination, enough said. I think that's outstanding. And it just goes to show you, there's so much that happens in our mind to tee us up and light us up for greatness and accomplishing cool things. You never know. And Ben, man, here we go. Who's this? This is, I can't see anymore the comments, but let's see. Oh, here we go. This is Kristen Bishop. All of this is why I love working with Mobile. Great people and culture, a true partnership.
Yes, it is.
Kristen, thanks for joining us. Ben, I know it's past time. There are games to be watched. And listen, thanks for, I've only known you a couple months, most of it on the phone, and a couple times in person now, but you are as authentic as it comes. You are fun. You are real. I appreciate the stories and the humor, and you never blow smoke. I mean, I know you said you're a lot of rainbows and butterflies or whatever, unicorns. And I appreciate the positivity that you bring to always try to find the good side or say, listen, things can work out great here, but you're also very genuine about the things you go through. We love each other, and at times we fight or we hate it, all of these things. And people need to hear more of that because it's never all or nothing. There's always a mixture of a lot of things that go into relationships and business and who we are as people. And I'm just really grateful that you're willing to tell all of it.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. Again, it was fun. The hour flew by. We could have probably sat here another hour and talked, some more. So, all jokes aside, what you have put together again has been needed so badly in our industry for our channel. And I think I speak on behalf of everybody who's a member of the group. Thank you for everything you do, Jason, because this ain't easy. What you have to deal with on the Facebook group is probably more of a full-time job than you expected it to be.
Well, thanks, Brandon. I'm glad it's offering something good. That was the goal, and it's really fun to be a part of something special like that. So thank you for saying that. Listen, Food Service Power Plant Network, I hope you got your notes. You never know when you're going to turn it on, when a comment's going to come to light you up or a moment in time. And maybe tonight is that night for you. Maybe it's tomorrow morning when you wake up. You might wake up tomorrow morning and say, you know what, today might end up being the best day of my life. And it might be. On the tee box, a hole 6. Ben and Wall, we weren't prepared for it, but they took it and they ran with it and they won a friggin' tournament. The other thing I would say, from Ben's story is don't be afraid. We're an industry where we're in an intimate industry where not only are we working together, but we're sharing meals and we're sharing drink, and inevitably we're sharing stories and we're sharing lives. Ben and Wallen have built this really awesome relationship where they consider themselves brothers and they live a lot of life together. And same is true over the years. I've been in the industry 13 years. A lot of my best friends anymore are in our industry. We've broken a lot of bread. We've making trips. We've done a really cool business. We've worked through really challenging business moments. And that's the gift. That's one of the greatest gifts of food service that I think sets us apart and makes us unique. So don't be afraid to invest in others, to ask others how they're doing on a personal level, and really connect in that way. Listen, if you're in our community and you're just going through a rough bout right now, know that Ben and I and this entire community are with you. We all go through rough moments where we have no friggin' idea how we're going to get out of it, but your job is to keep walking. There's always times where we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but that light always comes. Keep walking. Remember to reach out to a friend. Maybe it's someone in the industry that you're friends with, that you trust, and you've built a relationship with, just to say, listen, man, here's what's going on. Hey, my motivation's low right now. Hey, I'm struggling to find passion, I'm struggling with energy, whatever those things are, share it with a couple people that you trust, that you know that have earned your respect, and let them walk with you through it. Your job is just to keep walking. This isn't the end of your road. We're grateful for you. Remember, this conversation, later this week, I will edit this and I'll put it on our YouTube channel, because Food Service Power Plant Network has a YouTube channel where all of our conversations are stored. You can go back to see any of the, I think, 53, 54 conversations with industry leaders, and we'll have more coming. Lots of love, everybody. Live and love each day like it's your last. Boom, Todd, crush it. Everyone, Ben, thanks again. Everybody, have an awesome night.
Thank you.